I think my biggest insecurity is my entire wholeness in comparison to people. In that I think I'm all, like, no matter what it is, whether it is, you know, like how my physique is or how my skin is or how I'm dressed or whatever, it's always just like that insecurity that I always compare myself to other people, and it's that comparison that gives me that anxiety that, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not better, because there's always going to be someone better, and I only see that. Versus, you know, like now the mindset that I have changed into was more that, you know, it's okay that other people are better than you, but it's important that the me today is better than the me 2 days ago.
The most vulnerable parts about myself would physically be like the softer, larger parts of my body. I got big legs, I got big calves, always had it like a rounded tummy with a bit of fat that's always, you know, cushioned my abdominals. I think this is the reason why would be because I never was brought up with anybody telling me that I was beautiful the way I was. Nobody was ever there to tell me that I was okay with, that I should be okay with my body, that my body is very minimal to who I am as a person. And instead I was taunted and teased a lot about my weight, about my size, about the way I looked, and that kind of impacted me at such a young age to, I guess, develop these insecurities. So I was never teased by my peers, and instead I was taunted more by people that were closer to me, like my siblings. And it was always a teasing kind of thing, but I don't think they realized that at the time it really affected me. And I've never spoken to them about it. I've never confronted them about it because, I don't know, I guess I was scared. I didn't want to, and I don't blame them in any way because they didn't know that teasing me could have affected me that way. And it was really how I guess, internalized it and filtered all those names and applied it to myself. And I'm not here to play the blame game, but success factor, whether or not I am fit or physically healthy or whatever, it's always determined by the look and shape of my stomach area, which is silly when you think about it, but I think a lot of the emphasis in the media is whether or not you have a six-pack washboard abs. So that's still something that I'm working on, obviously, but I've gotten a lot better about it, and I'm more honest with myself and more real and a lot more kind.
The more vulnerable and insecure parts about myself revolve, I guess, around myself in its entirety. I was bullied a lot, absent father, dismissive mother, a bunch of dysfunctional relationships. And a lot of that, you know, made me question my worth and my value. And, you know, in hindsight, it's not surprising to me that, you know, these things brought up these insecurities, because it raises these questions like, why aren't I good enough? Why don't these people want me? Why am I so different? Why am I so unbearable?
It was definitely more so my height and my size, like how skinny I was. I think it was more so also just like knowing that I'm not necessarily the average size or the ideal type, the ideal body type. So even small things like going shopping, I would hate doing because I would never find something that's my size, or like even in my senior year in high school, I would have to get a suit from the kids section, like stuff like that, right? So it's just like small things here and there that kind of like make me realize that I'm not exactly the ideal fit for society. And that's why, like, when I went to Korea, I remember I loved shopping because I was a medium there. So it was like, it felt so good to be able to just like not worry about if I fit into certain things or not.
I would say the most vulnerable and very insecure part of myself is my mind, and really how I think of myself and how I kind of view the world, and that definitely, you know, it leads into how I view myself physically, like my body, and how I really don't find myself attractiveness. Like that's such a major insecurity about myself, and it really seeps into everything else. I think that was something I always knew about myself, because I remember growing up, I would tell people like my greatest strength and my greatest weakness was my mind. And it's my greatest strength because, you know, in terms of school and learning, like it's gotten me where I've gone to. Like I'm a person who teaches, like I tend to teach myself things because I don't have patience for other people to teach me things. So I've always found that to be a great strength, being able to adapt, but it's my worst enemy because that same mind will tell me that I can't do it, that I'm not worth doing it, that I'm not worth almost being here, you know? Not to say that I've taken it to a very extreme manner. I've always protected myself from extremities, but it's something that beats me down on a regular basis.